Welcome back. This time we're joined by John Mansour from Manning Shoes. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Megan. Nice to be talking to you in this position.
Yeah, indeed. So end of a week for you. How was the business this week?
Look, to be honest, the business this week feels a little more positive. I'll be honest. I mean, we've each day feels like it's normalised a little bit. We still know what's going on in the background, but it feels. And today, I think I was saying to you earlier that it actually felt like a normal day today. It was quite busy. People walking around in twos, which is acceptable.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was certainly less people talking about the negative and more talking about what they came here for, which is a purpose. Which is the other noticeable thing is our customers that are coming to us are actually coming here for a reason. They're not just coming and just doing the window shopping sort of mentality. So there is a purpose to their visit. So every customer is a genuine customer, I'll be honest.
Yeah, right. Which is it's an interesting one, isn't it? Seeing how the impact of COVID-19 is actually not operating just on us as business owners, but on how consumers or our clients and our customers are engaging with us as well.
That's right. Yeah, and there's still. It's interesting too to see the variation of level of customer that is quite consumed by the panic of it, and then the other one that's at the other extreme where it's like they wouldn't know what was going on in the world. It's quite interesting, but you obviously have to respect everybody and make sure that you're trying to do the right thing from a duty of care point of view, obviously, and but you feel your way through it. Each customer's different.
Yeah. And how are you and the team going? You've got a big team spread over a number of stores. How have you been managing that process?
Yeah, that's one of the first things that really affected me when this whole thing escalated. Is it was myself. I know I'll be fine and everything's fine, but it's how I manage the 20 plus staff that we have on our books. That was my first concern. How do we make sure they are safe and in terms of both financially and their health? So from their point of view, working in the business, we needed to make sure that they were going to feel safe enough, because we are in a public environment and we unfortunately don't have the strict protocols that say certain other places may have with closed doors. We're an open door sort of situation. People come in, pick up shoes, sit down, obviously touching lots of things. So it's a difficult environment to manage. And in some ways, that's where I was hoping the government would have just hibernated us to simplify that concern for me. Unfortunately, that hasn't eventuated, and it doesn't look like it's going to eventuate. So I had to change my mindset from potentially closing, and I did close a couple of stores for a week, but once I realised they weren't going to go the next level, I then had to change my mindset to how do we manage and evolve in the environment that's going to be with us. And my main concern was to try and stay open though. That was definitely my focus, because closing for 1 week, 2 weeks, even a month, you jeopardise losing some of your business elsewhere, to be honest. And two, I feel we have a responsibility to our loyal clientele too, that we're trying to keep people shod or with shoes on.
Yes.
And and so I felt responsible that I needed to be there for them too in that respect.
And you mentioned there that you'd shut a couple of the shops. I think you were one of the first people to kind of do that, and not just shut the whole thing down, but to select a couple of shops. And then you, I think, one of the first to open up again. Can you talk us through how you made that decision?
I guess, I guess I use it from a progressive point of view. It's easy to go and say, well, we're open 5 stores today and then no stores are open tomorrow. I felt that was a bit, reactive or almost, not quite the strategy anyway, so I wanted to consolidate and probably to a point where I could control some of the problems that were happening. Yeah. So by consolidating meant I could bring back to a 3-store situation, which has allowed me to simplify the staff, simplify the duty of care I had to the well-being of the staff. It just made sense to do that in stages. I did that initially thinking that I would keep going to the next stage and maybe drop another store out at some point. But like I said, it didn't seem to eventuate the way the government kept talking. And I guess for me, then I needed to take control of my destiny and say, well, okay, they don't seem to be wanting us to close permanently or officially. So I needed to change my tact and look at how I could reopen and stay open in an effective way.
Yeah. And during that process, who have you been turning to for information and guidance? Is it your web browser shows the ATO website up there?
No, I tell you, well, like I said to you, I always look at the stars of a night and think, I'm waiting for some inspiration, but unless you've got a double degree in accountancy, I go straight to my accountant. And look, he's been on my speed dial. Fortunately, we've got a really good relationship with our professionals. He's on, and even he's struggled. That's the reality of the situation. Even he has struggled with the whole process of changes from day to day to day. His direct conversation with ATO. So look, I'm totally in that camp. It's cost us a little bit because of that, but if we want to be doing all the right things, I needed to know that I had all the right information.
And I think that one thing you and I talked about very early on, when all of the impact of COVID started coming through, like making sure you speak to your bank manager, your accountant, your landlord, that's in addition to talking to your staff and talking to your customers, but getting that team of advisors to guide you through it. Is that something that you've continued to have a bit more of that team, or is it being more focused on like the accountant and that then comes back to you going out to the other people? Yeah, no,
I've got a team. Don't worry. I can show you all my emails, my paper trails, and my bank manager's been great. I've set up a one of those commercial loans that I've sat in the background in case I need it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping not to use it, and at this point, I'm planning I'm not going to use it, but I had that ready to go just in case. I've obviously got my accountant that, like I said, has been fantastic. I even had a conversation with my solicitor just regarding a few issues regarding, like I said, the care we have to take within store with the public as well as staff. So I've got a team. There is definitely a team, and you're only as strong as your weakest link, and it's an old saying, but it's an honest one. I needed to know that I was all getting the right information and then implementing it the best way I could. And then I had one-on-one conversations with every one of my staff members, so the 27 staff, I spoke to every one of them, both from juniors right through to our senior staff, where we've got, 2 40-year plus staff that have been with us.
What's one thing, just one, that surprised you? I mean, you've been in business for a long time, respectfully, and come from a generation of business owners. What in this last month, what surprised you as a business owner?
Probably what surprised me is the surprise itself. This is all unplanned. So I had nothing in my playbook that could register any sort of reaction to what's currently happened. So the surprise is that we're all surprised. I'll say, my suppliers, I got suppliers out of China, out of Italy, out of Spain, out of Turkey, working out who's going to be able to help us and who's can't with stock, one surprise, I really don't. I'm not surprised by anything these days, especially after bushfires, drought. And I'm in small business. We seem to be always on the ground getting kicked and punched. So this sort of surprises me, but it doesn't. It's just another challenge that we've got to accept and evolve with. But the challenge is that I've got no history. So how I've dealt with this before, this will be a good benchmark for what happens next time.
Yeah. And what have you been doing for your own well-being? Often, as the business owner, you said at the beginning there that, you're confident that you'd be right. And I know that, I mean that, in terms of your own thinking and planning about it.
Yeah.
But a month can be a long time as a business owner with 5 stores, nearly 30 staff, juggling all of this information, trying to get it. What are you doing for yourself?
Apart from I got my punching bag out, I was doing a lot
did
of
you?
that. And I was talking to a couple of counsellors about this. When all this stuff was happening and all these mixed messages, I was so frustrated because there was no. I'll honestly say there was no strong leadership in the early part. Yeah. It was very difficult to understand what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I was frustrated, and I hate being in a position where I can't control certain things. Now I'm at a point, like I said, is I'm waking up now knowing what today is going to bring. It's another day in COVID sort of world. So, we're on restricted trading at the moment. So we're only open till 2:00 most days, not open Sundays. But I'm getting out on my bike, I'm surfing, I'm sort of out paddling a little bit after work, trying to clear the head. Sport for me has always been an opportunity it's my meditation. So I tend to find I relax a little bit with that. I was saying to my wife a couple of days ago, and I've been saying to the staff, I've actually been working harder now than before COVID, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've been here most days until probably 4, close to 5 o'clock, even though we're shutting officially at 2 o'clock. I spend more time on the floor now because I'm obviously working on restricted staff.
Yeah.
But it's about all the behind the scenes stuff that I'm really trying to. I've got to manage my suppliers. How I'm managing my indents with stock. My cash flow. Talking to landlords. We're all like, and you hear, and in some ways I was getting sick of hearing it. We're all in it together, but it is a true statement. And every, like I said, talking to the landlords, so Stockland, Gowings, and Port, everyone's been now come on board, and we're all working this out, which is fantastic. Yeah. So we will all get through it. Like I said, we're all going to have to accept some pain.
Yeah.
Which we're just got to dust ourselves off and reset, which is what is also probably needed to happen in some ways. There needed to be a reset button at some point.
Considering then, I know definitely down on Wharf Street, you're part of the community there. We're all in this together, as you said, that business community. What's one tip that you would give to fellow business owners at this time?
Wow, one tip. Well, I'd say probably maintain communication as much as possible with your fellow business people. Where possible, networking, talking to others, learning from others is a big thing. Understanding what's worked for someone else, looking at it. It may not be suitable for you, but you obviously. I'm not going to hide from the fact that I learn from many other people. I'm not unique in lots of ways. We just can keep learning from other people as well, and then applying it to our handwriting. But that's probably the one tip I'd say is just to keep talking as much as you can to people like yourself, people who are in business. And in our main street, we've got a good cohort that we all talk to amongst ourselves, and we all prop ourselves up. And if someone's got a problem, obviously mental health's a big thing these days. We all try to maintain support for each other, and that's really a big part of why we all love being here. We've got a good bond here at the moment.
Yeah, great. Hey, thanks so much for your time. As I said, I know it's the end of a week, a long week, and I really appreciate you sharing from your experiences and being honest about the journey you've had so far, and also tips about helping other local business owners.
Yeah, no problem.